thing about me and exercise is that if I ever did it consistently, I'd pretty much be good to go, but because I've never gotten into a great habit with it, I'm in much worse shape than I should be. So today I'm gonna go for a run, and the plan is to run no less than 3 times a week. I'm gonna go for a run. I always feel really silly wearing workout clothes when I'm not really in shape, but it still beats like wearing non-workout clothes in terms of how they feel while I'm actually working out. So seems like that's more important. And yes, my run starts with a walk, so it looks extra sad and like I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, and you know what shoes I'm wearing. Well, first time running in ages, narrowly made it under 2 miles. I know it's cliche and well known and whatever else, but I gotta say I feel great after working out for the first time in forever. I was a little bit worried that this run was going to kill me. Just working on importing some video footage into my computer for the vlog, my laptop, not this computer. This computer's not technically mine, it's leased for School of Cards right now. Wow, those bugs are loud. Let's get to work. So right now what you're looking at over here was the untrimmed version of some Beyond Tells footage for one of our sessions. We're going to leave it untrimmed so that we can do some of the baseline behavioral analysis. Some of that's going to be shipped out to other companies, some of that's going to be done internally. Stuff like blink rate is going to be correlated between times when they're not playing, not in a hand, and times when they are in a hand, so we can see the changes. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of analysis that's going to be done mid-hand. A lot of stuff related to card check, like apex, the frequency that they recheck cards, things like that. A whole bunch of facial analysis that's going to be done. A lot of cool stuff. But for the purposes of the actual content, where you guys, if you choose to buy it, will get to see it, that is going to be trimmed. So what I'm going to do right now is basically trim down the footage so that it just shows the portions of clips that are people playing hands. And then when I'm done with that, what I'll be able to do is take all that footage, duplicate it into a new project, and do individual projects per player. So you see this is a 6-max game. There will be a larger portion, so there will be game walkthroughs with 6 players, sometimes more, and then there will be player walkthroughs that will be just following that 1 player. Let's get to it.
You're recording?
Yeah. I'm trying to record more work stuff so people will see that I don't just like lay around the house all day.
Tell them that we're playing this game. I forget what it's called. Panic.
We're playing this game.
It's called Panic. Everyone's panicking.
I am panicking. Look, we only have 1 tower left.
Sorry. I'm trying to do this.
Okay, I am awake again. It's about 10:15. Don't judge. Don't judge. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually go for a run. God, shut up. So loud. I'm gonna go for a run and 1 second. Damn, that's loud. I'm gonna go for a run. What am I doing with my hands? See you guys in a little bit. By the way, guys, it's been said before. I know it will be said again. I just want to put this out there. I know that I need new shoes. It's not imminent until I decide to start running more frequently. So the vast majority of you wouldn't know this about me, but I used to be involved in team sports back when I was younger. Back when I was a young whippersnapper. And I used to play soccer way back in the day, not competitively really. And then in high school, I was pretty into ultimate frisbee. I didn't really join any competitive leagues, but I was playing after school pretty much every day. And that almost continued into college sports, but I got injured like 2 weeks into the ultimate frisbee season at school, and so I didn't do that. Anyway, the problem with not having new shoes now is that these shoes are fine for everyday use, they're fine for walking around. The only times I usually have problems are when I am having a really long walk or like a hike or something. I can't really hike in these shoes effectively. Or when I'm running regularly. Once in a while it's fine, but after a while it's like, I think I probably need some running shoes. So in the semi-near future, you might see me buying some regular shoes, everyday shoes, and some running shoes. No promises though. I already reached the halfway point of my run and I was supposed to get way over there. And I didn't make it, but I got further than I did 2 days ago, so that's good. So I just caught this leash in my hand. I don't know, maybe it signifies something, you know? I know it doesn't. I don't even believe in that stuff, but it's fun. So something that a lot of people probably don't know about me, who've been watching this vlog and know that I play live, is I started out online. I played free rolls underage. Stars, you can ban me, but I don't know how effective that'll be anymore. But anyway, I started out online, and when I first transitioned to live play, I was bad. I didn't make the transition very well. It took me a long time to adjust, but it gave me an appreciation for the fact that player pool differences account for an important, you know, set of factors. I mean, it's possible to say like, oh, X% of your win rate comes from, damn it. Apparently I locked the deadbolt while I was here. While I left, didn't even notice that. So people don't really always account for these kinds of changes, or they overcompensate. And I feel like I did both. People said, you know, live is so soft, you can play a ton of hands. So I adjusted too far in the playing too many hands realm, and I didn't adjust enough in the way of decreasing some of my aggression that worked online. So stuff like playing draws really aggressively, that worked well for me online, especially in anonymous formats, didn't work so well live, especially when I became a regular and people knew who I was. And I didn't really appreciate that for a long time. But it taught me the lesson now to where, you know, if I'm making any kind of change, if I'm playing different stakes, different location, I'm very aware of the fact that there's gonna be player pool tendency differences. In terms of like player pool differences between, I mean, it can be as simple as between like online when I started playing really seriously and I had the option of playing regular tables or zone tables because I played on Bovada. And for those of you who don't know, zone is similar to like PokerStars Zoom or Full Tilt Rush Poker. I think I got those right. A lot of the differences came from the fact that in a zone table, you get whisked to the next hand whenever you fold. So you get placed at a table with 5 other people, if it's 6 max, and then you play the hand. At the point of your fold, or when you end the pot, you get whisked to a new table with all new players, and you don't have stats on anyone because Bovada is anonymous play completely. So you don't have stats on anyone to begin with. Normally, if you're sitting at a table, on a regular table with someone for an hour, then you have, you know, an hour worth of statistics on them, if you will. You have that history. But in zone, you don't. So a lot of the adjustments I had to make between those two player pools were in zone. I was able to get away with a lot of light 3-betting because people were trying to play against like player pool tendencies, or, you know, they aren't thinking that, but that's kind of what they're doing. So they're probably, they're folding a lot because people aren't 3-betting enough in general. And when they fight back, they're probably doing it incorrectly because they don't have the experience playing the 3-bet pots. Whereas I was 3-betting a lot, too much in fact, from like it's sort of like an optimal Nash equilibrium sort of perspective. I'm using air quotes; those are real terms, but I'm not gonna like dive into them. But basically, like if there was a perfect way to play poker, like robots all figured out how to play perfectly against each other, then they'd be 3-betting some frequency. It would probably be like, you know, positionally dependent, and you know, it would be high or low depending on the position of who opened and all this stuff, right? Whereas I can just crank those numbers way up because people can't have the read that I'm 3-betting light. The idea here is that you can get away with some pretty insane exploitative bluffs. Now, I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way and start like just going crazy 3-betting all the time. This was a very special circumstance in a time when zone was even fishier than it is now. Basically, the moral of the story is just figure out what's going to work in your player pool. To bring this back to what I was trying to talk about, I couldn't 3-bet with impunity in the regular games, because if I did that like 3 hands in a row when I was in position against an out of position opener, it's kind of obvious you don't have the nuts. But if I do it in zone, people tend to assume you're close to the norm. And so being not in the norm had huge benefits when playing anonymously. Now, I think this can extend even further into like live play even, and just understanding that you'll never really get a lot of hands against most people. And also understanding that most people won't adjust enough even if they adjust. So playing outside the norm, playing outside of what people expect, playing frequencies they don't expect can be profitable. Now, they have to exploit other people's tendencies to be profitable, but the point is you don't win by playing ABC, and you don't win by playing like everyone else. Also, if you start to get a reputation as being that crazy guy, it might be time to change things up. I know this didn't exactly go the direction I was planning. I was planning to talk about player pool tendencies more than anonymity, and like playing, you know, playing outside the lines, but I think I touched on some good stuff. So do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, or if you didn't, go ahead and subscribe if you hadn't, and don't forget to turn on notifications. I would love to see you guys back here, and catch you in another video. Take care.